Hello everyone, today we'll be going over two sections again. 3.4 surface area of a cylinder and 3.5 volume of a cylinder. Okay, so let's first take a look at what a cylinder is. Well, to imagine a cylinder, you can just think of a soup can. So it looks like this. Okay, so on the bottom, the base is a circle and the top is a circle as well. So if you unfold it to find the net, it will look like this. So you'll have two circles, one on top, one on bottom, and then the middle is a rectangle. Okay, and how is the length of our rectangle related to the circles? So if you have if you have a piece of paper beside you, just try to roll your paper up so one edge and the other edge, so the two edges connect to each other. When you fold them up, it will become a cylinder-shaped object, right? So the top and the bottom is just a circle. So really what this length is this length is just the circumference of your circle. Okay. So in order to find the surface area of the cylinder, we'll need to find the area of the two circles. These two are the same, so we can find the area of one circle multiplied by 2. And then we'll find the area of the rectangle here. And the rectangle has a length, so it has a width that is the same as the height of the cylinder. And the length, like we discussed already, the length is the circumference of the circle. Okay, so now let's take a look at circles. When you have a circle, the center here is what's so-called the, center. Okay, so the center is right in the middle of your circle. Now with 3 definitions, with diameter, radius, and circumference. Diameter is a line that passes through the center of the circle with 2 endpoints on the circle. So this line here, AB, will be our diameter. Okay, and what is radius? Radius is a line with 1 endpoint on the center. Let me use a different color. 1 endpoint on the center, and the other endpoint on the circle. So like that. So this pink line will be the radius. Let me just label it. So pink is radius, and then the blue line is diameter. And what is circumference? Circumference is the distance around the circle. It's that. Okay. So distance around the circle is circumference. Let me use green here. And the circumference again is distance around the circle and also what the length of your rectangle is. Okay. Now let's look at a few formulas. First of all, D is diameter. Let me just write it down here. Oh, I actually put it down here already. D is diameter and R is radius. D, because D is the distance from A to B, so it's actually the center to B and the center to A. Okay, and we know the radius is centered to any point on the circle, and so diameter will just be 2 times of that because it's centered to one point and centered to another point. So it's 2 times radius. Okay, so that's diameter. And if we know what diameter is now, the next one is radius. Radius is, well, radius is just half of the diameter. Okay, so d over 2, or d divided by 2. And then circumference of a circle. Circumference of a circle is equal to pi times d, or 2 pi times r. Well, because we know d is just 2 times r. So if the question gives you the diameter, you can just find the circumference multiplying pi and d. If the question gives you the radius, then you can use this formula, 2 times pi times r, to get the circumference. And then area of a circle. Area of a circle is equal to pi times r squared. Okay. So let's try a few examples together then. First example, find the diameter and circumference of the circle with radius 4 centimeters. So from the question, we know the radius is 4 centimeters, meaning that r is equal to 4. Now, what is the question looking for? The question is looking for the diameter and the circumference. Diameter and circumference. And we have those formulas on top, right? We know diameter is equal to 2 times r, and circumference is equal to, let me write it here. Circumference is equal to pi times d, or 2 pi times r. So we can just plug in what we know from the question into this equation here, into these two equations actually. So to find diameter, it's 2 times r, and r we know already is 4. So 2 times 4, 8. And remember, because it's the diameter, so it has a unit. You can't just leave the answer as 8. You have to put down the unit as well, 8 centimeters. Okay, and the second one, we can use either equation, both are fine. Because we know d already from this question, we can use the first one. And we know what r is from the original question, so we can use that one as well. If you use d, then it's pi times by d, which is 8, so 8 pi. If you used r, then it's 2 times pi times 2 times pi times r, which is 4. Then 2 times pi times 4 will be 8 times pi, which is 8 pi. Now, pi is an infinite decimal. So you can leave the answer as in terms of pi, like this, like 8 pi. Or what you can do is you can calculate what 8 pi is equal to. So 8 pi is equal to 8 times pi, which is 3.14, about 3.14, because it's an infinite decimal, so we'll normally round it to 2 decimal places. So it's about 8 times 3.14. And for these questions, in this section, you can use a calculator because the numbers are a bit harder to calculate. So 25.13. And what's the unit? The unit is centimeter, because circumference is the distance, right? The unit we use to measure distance or length is centimeters, meters, etc. You don't need centimeters squared or something like that. Okay. Unit squared is for measuring area of a diagram. Next question. Find the surface area of a cylinder with diameter 12 centimeters and height of 5 centimeters. Okay, so let's draw the cylinder. So I'm gonna copy that. Okay. Okay. So I use dotted line here. That's because this line you can't really see. It's at the back. Okay. Now, let's label the dimensions. It says diameter is 12. So diameter is from one edge to the other and passing through the center, of course. So if this is the center, then your diameter will be from here to here. Okay, and diameter is 12 centimeters. And then height is 5 centimeters. Now, remember, whenever we want to find the surface area of any polyhedron, we need to know what the net look like. So let me just draw the net first. Well, I will have a rectangle that is the side, and then I'll have one circle on top. Oops. And one circle on the bottom. And these two circles are the same, so I will just copy and paste it here. Okay. There we go. And let's label the dimensions here as well. So this is center, and our diameter will be from here to here. So that's 12. And then the width of our rectangle here is 5 cm. And now we can find the area. So let's find the area of the circles first. So to find the area of a circle, remember it's pi r squared. Okay. So to find the area, we'll need r. Do we know what r is? Well, we know what d is. So r is equal to, remember from here, r is equal to d over 2. So r is equal to d over 2, and d, diameter, is equal to 12. So 12 over 2 is the radius, which is 6. So now we know r, the radius, is equal to 6. So area will just be pi times 6 squared, which is pi times 36, and we can leave it as 36 pi. Okay, so that's one circle, but how many circles do we have? We have 1 and 2. We have 2 circles, one on top and one on bottom. So then we need to multiply the 36 pi by 2 or add another 36 pi, okay, for the surface area. And then let's find the area of the rectangle. Okay, area of the rectangle. To find the area of a rectangle, it's equal to length times by width. Well, we know the width is 5 centimeters, but what is the length? Well, the length is just the circumference, right? We discussed that before. So the length here is circumference. And what is the area of circumference? Circumference is equal to pi times d, or 2 pi r. But since we know d already, let's just use pi d. So circumference is equal to pi times d, and d is equal to 12, so circumference is 12 pi. Okay, now I have the length, and width is equal to 5. So area then is equal to 12 pi times width, which is 5. So The area for the rectangle is 12 times 5, which is 60 pi. Okay, so now we'll just need to find the surface area. Okay, so the surface area of the cylinder is the top circle plus the bottom circle and plus the rectangle. So 36 plus 36 plus 60, which is equal to 132 pi. And the unit, what is the unit? It's area, so the unit will be unit squared. And the unit they used here is centimeter, so it will be centimeter squared. There we go. And if you guys don't like to have pi in your answer, we can change that. So you can plug into your calculator 132 times pi. 132 times pi, pi is 3.14. So this is about 414.69 centimeter squared. So both answers are fine, either this one or this one. All right, so next section, volume of a cylinder. Well, again, volume is the amount of space that the object occupies. So for cylinder, think of a soup can. It's the amount of soup that the can can contain. Okay. Formula. The formula for the volume is always the base times the height. And if you think of a cylinder like this, what is the base? The base is the circle, right? So the cylinder is actually circles with the same shape stacked up, right? So if you stack a bunch of circles up of the same shape up, then it will become a cylinder. So area of the base is basically area of a circle and times by height. And remember, area of a circle is equal to pi r squared. That's why the volume of a cylinder is equal to pi r squared times height. Okay. So example number 1. Find the volume of the cylinder below. So first of all, we need to know what the base is. The base is the circle. And to find the area of the base, you need to know what the radius is. Well, we know the diameter is 12, but what is the radius? Again, radius is equal to diameter divided by 2, so 12 divided by 2, that is 6. Okay, so area of the base then is equal to pi times 6 squared. 6 squared is 36, so area of the base is 36 times pi, 36 pi. Okay, and so to find the volume, area of the base times by height, and we know area of the base already, 36 pi, times by height. Height is 10 centimeters. So 36 pi times by 10 is just 360 pi. You can leave the answer like this with a unit, centimeter squared, or you can plug into your calculator and the answer should be around 1130.97 actually. 97 cm squared. Okay, both answers are fine. I like the first answer better because you don't have decimals. But if you guys don't like to leave your answers with pi, then you can calculate it. That's fine too. All right, example number 2. Find the volume of the cylinder with a section removed. And the section removed here, you can see that it's a 90-degree section. So if you imagine the top view of this cylinder, it will look like a circle. Let's say this is the center, and oops, what? Okay, never mind. It looked like a circle. It looked like a circle with the 90 degrees with a 90-degree section removed. So the section that's being removed will look like this. This piece is removed. And how much is the rest comparing to a full circle? Well, we know a full circle is 1, and this we can represent this as a fraction because the circle is cut into 4 pieces. And how many pieces are left? Well, it's actually 3 pieces that's been left, because if you have a circle you cut into 4, then the pieces that's being left is 3 out of 4. Okay, so this is 3/4 of a circle. Okay, now if I want to find the area of this thing, because this is the base, how do I find the area of this thing? First of all, I need to find the area of a circle. So area of circle, area of the circle is equal to pi r squared. And what's r? R, it says here it's 6 meters. This is r. So it's pi times 6 squared, which is 36 pi. Now this is the area of a circle. But this thing is not a full circle. It's 3/4 of a circle. Now, if you remember from the previous chapter, what does of mean? If you have a percent or a fraction of something, it means that fraction or that percent times the number or the things after, right? So the area of this base here is actually 3/4 times what? Times the area of a circle, So area of a circle again is 36 pi. And if you don't remember how to do your fractions, let's do it once again together. Times by 36 pi is the same as saying times by 36 pi over 1. And we can cancel the common factors. So 4 divided by 4 is 1, 36 divided by 4 is 9. And so what we have left is 3 times 9 pi, that's 27 pi. And on the denominator is just 1. So the area of the base is 27 pi. Now, again, volume is equal to the area of the base times by height. If area of the base is 27, then what is volume equal to? It will be 27 pi times by, the height is written here. The height is 15. So 27 times 15, that's, you can use the calculator here, that's 405 pi. And remember your unit, meter cubed. Oh, oops, sorry. These are volumes, so the unit should be cubed, not squared. My fault. Okay? When you are calculating volumes, your unit should be cubed. Okay? You can only use unit squared with area or surface area. Now, if you want to calculate the answer without the pi, just multiply 405 by 3.14, and that will give you roughly 1,271.7 meter cubed. Okay. Now moving on to our last example. Find the volume of this object here. This object is a cube with a cylinder inside. How do I know it's a cube? Well, you can see from these lines. These lines means that all of the side lengths are the same. So if this side length is equal to 15, then all of these are all 15 meters. Okay. So how do I find the volume? Volume is equal to area of the base times by height. So what does the base look like? Well, if you imagine the top view of this object, you'll be a square with a circle in the middle. Something like that. And the square has side length 15. That's from the question. And the circle has a diameter of 12 meters. Now, how do I find the area of the base? The area of the base is the shaded area, right? Well, we can find the shaded area by subtracting the circle, the area of the circle from the square. Okay, so that's area of a square. Let's find the area of a square. Area of a square. Area of square is equal to length squared, so 15 times by 15, which is equal to 225 meters squared. And then let's find the area of a circle. Area of the circle is equal to pi r squared, and we know the radius here. This is diameter, but radius is equal to diameter divided by 2, which is 12 divided by 2. So radius is 6 meters for this question. So that's pi times 6 squared, so 36 times pi, 36 pi. And 36 pi is about 103.04. So now, we know the area of the square, we know the area of the circle, and area of the base is just going to be area of the square minus the circle. So it's 225 minus 103.04, and that is equal to 111.96. Okay, so that's my area of the base. And now, we're not looking for the area, we're looking for the volume. Volume is area of the base times by height. Area of the base times by height. And the area of the base is 111.96 times by height. Height is 15. So my final answer then will be 1,679.4. And don't forget your unit. I don't have enough space here. I'm going to move these over a little bit and maybe make it a little smaller. Okay, so unit is unit cubed, so meter cubed. Okay, so that's my final answer. Now, you guys might have noticed that I changed 36 pi to 113.04 directly. That's because when I subtract to find the area of the base, I can't minus 225 by 36 pi directly because 36 pi has a pi in it and 225 does not. So I have to change 36 pi to a decimal first before I can subtract them. That's why I did it here directly. Okay. So your homework for today is 3.5 and the previous one 3.4. Please try these two sections and let me know if you have any questions.